Hello, everyone. It's Shamila Ramjawan coming to you from Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm your host today on Menstrual Hygiene Day, on my very own global show, The Red Corner Show. I'm a multiple global award winning entrepreneur, the founder of the Princess D Menstrual Cup, a hygienic and healthy, sustainable solution for menstruation that is reusable for 10 years, a business management lecturer at the University of South Africa, a player part ambassador for Brand South Africa, the South African chairperson for Ladies of All Nations International, LONI UK, which is represented in over 150 countries, the South African country director for International Youth Society, represented in over 145 countries, the Africa chairperson for the Global International Alliance GIA USA, where I achieved the prestigious honorary doctorate in humanitarianism in October 2020. Also a global ambassador for the Commonwealth Entrepreneurs Club and a member of the Institute of Global Professionals. Every May 28th, Menstrual Hygiene Day is celebrated around the world to combat stigmas and raise awareness about the vital role that menstrual hygiene management plays in ensuring health, dignity, and opportunity for women and girls. According to WASH United, a German nonprofit organization and founder of the Menstrual Hygiene Day, the average interval of a menstrual cycle is 28 days. On average, women and girls menstruate for 5 days per month. Hence, 28-5 or the 28th of May was chosen to mark this special day. More than half of women globally are of reproductive age, yet many lack access to menstrual hygiene products or sanitation facilities. Myths and stigmas surrounding menstruation cause some girls to miss school, or women to miss work, or they tend to go into isolation. So, what is the significance of menstrual hygiene management? Let's chat to break taboos surrounding menstruation, raise awareness of the importance of good menstrual hygiene management worldwide. This year's theme is Action and Investment in Menstrual Hygiene and Health. Today, I have an esteemed panel of guests who will shed light on menstruation matters because we know menstruation does matter. Starting off, we're going to head over to India. Dr. Mahima Bakshi, a women and child wellness expert, women activist, author, fashion model, founder of Birthing Naturally Queen, Birthing Naturally winner of She Award Dubai 2020, a youth ambassador for the International Youth Society. Hello, Dr. Mahima Bakshi from Delhi, India. Welcome to the show.
Namaste from India. Thank you so much for making me a part of this fantastic panel and this superb discussion because, yes, like you said, menstruation does matter.
It's awesome having you on the panel. Thank you so much for coming on board because we want to hear your expert advice today and just the insights that you're going to share with us and the audience. But before we head right into it, please tell our audience exactly who is Dr. Bakshi.
So I started my career as a fashion model, and at the same time, I was pursuing my studies. And while participating in beauty pageants, I realized that I wanted to do something for women in the society. So I changed my path and I got into women and child wellness. I am author of book Birthing Naturally. I promote natural birthing in India. And I also started this pageant, Birthing Naturally Queen, to promote maternal mental health awareness. We did our season 1 as Indian chapter, and now we are doing season 2 as African chapter. And I'm happy to share with you all that Dr. Shamila is also part of the promotions of Birthing Naturally Queen season 2. And I'm looking forward to be a part of this panel today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm so proud to be associated with you because you're doing such phenomenal work. And yes, you know, these are sort of topics that we need to spread and have that voice so that we can spread it across the globe. But just going on to menstrual hygiene management, that is the talk of the world today. Why is menstrual hygiene awareness so important to you and to India?
So, like you said, it is something that happens in a woman's life every month. And 5 days out of those 30, 31 days in a month is where a woman is going through her menstrual period. So, it becomes very important for women like us to ensure that women are educated about the menstrual health, about menstrual hygiene, which can help in improving the overall women's health status in countries like India or other countries where we need to boost women's health, and plus empower them to take care of themselves. So, to empower them to take care of their menstrual health, menstrual hygiene, so that something like menstruation, which is supposed to be a part of normalcy of a woman's life, should not stop her from doing things that she wants to do. It should not stop a girl from going to school because she's on her periods. It should not stop a woman from living her normal life, routine life in her house because just because she's on a period, or she's being told not to go to the kitchen, or she's being told not to go to the temple because she's on her period. So we want to normalize the living of a woman with her periods happening every month so that she's not judged by people in the society by stopping her that, okay, if you're on your period, you can't do this or you can't do that. We need to break the taboos. We need to break the stigmas around it so that a woman can feel as normal as any other person in the society.
I so agree with you. We have to smash the shame and break the taboos. But how do you think you can possibly do that?
So, initiatives like this, like United Nations starting this day dedicated to menstrual hygiene and menstrual health, and all of us who are present here, all of us individually can make a huge difference in raising voices, in using platforms of social media to make a post, or to write articles, or to come up and speak about it. Because we as women, if we can feel comfortable talking about periods, that's what we are going to pass on. We're going to pass on this message to the next generation so that they can also feel as normal as possible when it comes to talking about periods. But I feel that the biggest change maker, the biggest role of a change maker that anybody can play in this society can be a parent. If a parent can sit down with their children when they reach the age of 10, they can sit down and talk about periods with them. Whether it's a girl child, whether it's a boy child, it does not matter. It's not that you only talk about periods with your daughter. You need to talk about it with your son as well, to let your son know that what happens during menstruation in a girl's life, how men need to respect women during that period, and how normal it is, so that a girl doesn't have to undergo any kind of shaming from the men in the society when they grow up. So if we start educating children from that time when they start period in their life for the first time, then for the rest of the life, the framing of menstruation in their minds will always be like a normal part of their life.
Absolutely. I so agree with you. Do you think that is happening in India? Are the parents addressing this topic with the boys and girls?
So there is still a lot of taboo around it, and there was this Bollywood film that came by the name of Padman, in which Akshay Kumar brought up this issue, and it changed a lot in the society in India. I must say that it changed a lot. There were so many new sanitary napkin companies that got launched because they felt that this was the need of the hour, and people needed to do something to promote menstrual hygiene. And all the sanitary napkin companies, in fact, Dr. Shamila, they started opening up to talk about menstruation. Otherwise, it was only about selling a product. But these companies took up initiatives to talk about menstrual hygiene, to talk about menstrual health, so that people can normally talk about periods in their society. So I feel that a lot changed. I will say that there was a huge revolution that started after the movie came out, because then people started discussing about it in public. There were social media platforms that were being used. There were initiatives taken by so many other people, because it had become like a new trend in Bollywood, and then everybody was wanting to follow it. So a lot changed after that, but still, yes, there is a section of people, for them, they still feel that you can't go to a temple if you're on your period, or you can't cook in the kitchen if you're on your period, or other little things like you're supposed to just stay in the room, not step out. If we talk about the rural areas, there are still people who are not even using sanitary napkins. They're only using cloth napkins, which again becomes a risk factor for spreading a lot of infections. Could be vaginal infections. Some women can also develop septicemia because of prolonged vaginal infections. So when it comes to the rural areas, there's a lot that still needs to be done, and people like us can still help women in the society. So it's not just the urban sector, it's also the rural sector that needs to be touched.
That is so interesting. And, I've been there, so I have firsthand experience of seeing what happens there, especially in the slum areas. Thank you, Dr. Bakshi, for sharing that. But we're going to move ahead and we'll get back to you later on the show. So we move ahead to Aliya Chabu from South Africa, a 24-year-old CEO of Continental Sales and Distribution Agents, a ZTV Miss India South Africa 2019-2020, National Director for the International Youth Society South Africa, former top 100 Young Independent Trailblazer in South Africa, Woman of Wonder 2019 recipient. Aliya is also an incredible humanitarian who has changed the lives of many girls in South Africa by sponsoring the Princess D menstrual cups. Thank you, Aliya, for that, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shamila, and it's amazing to be here. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. Before we move ahead, can you please tell us exactly who is Aliya Chabu?
Well, I think you covered it all of who is Aliya Chabu. Well, what you see is basically what you get. I am a fun, lovable person. I love to encourage and motivate young women, well, even the youth, both male and females here in South Africa, because that's what I love and to enjoy doing. So basically that's me.
Wonderful. So the topic on hand today is menstrual hygiene management. Why is this topic so important to you? I just want to hear some of your views on the topic.
Okay, so being a woman, you know what, menstrual hygiene is of utmost importance, and we women face it on a monthly basis. So every month, like you mentioned, we have it between 5 to 7 days a week. And yes, we also go through the body experiencing bloating, or we go through the bodily pains, or we have our emotions all over the place. So it's something that, you know what, we need to educate the people further about, because at the end of the day, when we as women do have our period, we don't want to go into a store and maybe get some sanitary pads and hide it and go and buy our sanitary pads and feel like, you know what, no, this is something no one should know about. We are women. You know what, we have our period for 5 to 7 days. We are strong women. I mean, you bleed throughout that time and you still come out stronger. So it's something that we need to make aware in today's society, that it's completely normal. It is normal for women to have this. It is normal for women to menstruate. So it needs to be normalized in today's society by both the male and females.
I love what you do, because you go out on your social media and you're not afraid to talk about menstruation, which is great, because we need to smash the shame and break that taboo. So what's your suggestion on products or types of products that one can use, and why?
Okay, like you mentioned earlier, no, I am not afraid to talk on social media, because at the end of the day, we are in a new generation and we need to break that cycle where, you know what, females are behind closed doors. No, female empowerment is all the way. And you know what, for me, products that I would suggest for ladies, you have your sanitary pads, you've got your sanitary liners, you even have your tampons, and thanks to you, we even have menstrual cups that I absolutely love, because then at the end of the day, you are saving cost. It is completely hygienic, and women today need that, because not many schools or places have proper toilet facilities where women can go and change. So I would rather suggest the menstrual cup to ladies these days.
Thank you so much for that, Aliya. And I know that you love your menstrual cup. You've been using it for a few years now. So thank you so much for your input as well. It's very valuable, and we will talk to you later on the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shamila.
Moving ahead, we go to Botswana, and we have Basetsana Nshime, who is the owner of House of Sense and Crystal Fairy Events, a board chairperson for the Botswana Retired Nurses Society. This organization deals with HIV and AIDS issues, as well as initiatives for orphans and vulnerable children. Basetsana is also involved in the empowerment of women. Hello, Basi, how are you?
Hi, Shamila. Hi, everybody. I'm well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today, all the way from Botswana. Proudly African. We just celebrated so Africa Day the other day. So, Basetsana.
Thank you so much.
Please tell everyone, my sister, please tell everyone who is Basetsana.
Like you have already stated, Basetsana is almost 40 years. I'm so looking forward to my 40s. Lady from Botswana. I have 2 kids, women empowerment. I have been very active from my early school days, doing adolescent training and empowerment. And then I moved on to now doing it at the community level, where you work the Botswana Retired Nurses Society, where we do empowerment and teaching about things HIV related. But now with all the pandemics, we make sure that we cover HIV, cancer, we cover corona as it is now, and then we cover everything else that affects people in our communities. And the community service is based in my my town or my village. So going, yes, basically that's about me.
Awesome.
And I also run. Yes, sorry about that. I run a few businesses. So one of them is the one that you mentioned, House of Sense, and Crystal Fairy, which is an event decor company.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. So, Basi, you do know the topic on menstrual hygiene management is just buzzing throughout the globe today. Do you think there's adequate menstrual hygiene education by parents in Botswana?
I wouldn't say so, but we have moved from my time, because I remember during my time, I was so afraid to tell. My parents only saw my soiled dresses. And it happened while I was at school. But I see a lot of effort done by ladies now, because they want to empower the young ones, and they don't want them to have the shame where we were growing up, like the period is dirty. So now it's coming up, but I'd like to see a whole lot more being done. I wish a whole lot more can be done by parents. And it so happens that us ladies are the ones who are expected to do it. But I think everyone now, because now the world is not, we have our nuclear families headed by men also, and they wouldn't have the time to have aunts coming in and talking to the kids. So I think it's something that should be done by family members, not necessarily the mom. Of course, we are going to spearhead it as ladies, but I wish everybody should be involved in it.
I so agree with you. And do you do any sort of projects on menstruation in Botswana?
Unfortunately not, but I did try, as I think from 2016, when I met you and started with the menstrual cup. But so
I think there's a problem with the connection on your side, Basi. Did we lose Basi? Okay, I'm sure she will reconnect. So let's move on. Basi, are you there?
I'm here. I can hear you properly. Can you hear me?
Yes, we lost you when you said you last met me in 2016.
Yes, I was saying I tried doing that, but I think I was concentrating on the menstrual cup when I met you, and there was so much resistance about it. But I think it's something that I should start. What I see around is the drive to have young girls in schools have access to pads. A lot of people are doing it around, and it's very commendable. But I haven't really been active in the space, though I'd really want to be. But I'm biased because I loved the menstrual cup from the time I started it, and that's where I want to go because of what I loved about it. It's my number one recommendation.
Wonderful. You know, I just believe that no matter what products the girls get in the rural areas, we should ensure that they manage their menstruation with dignity, because we know that girls use feathers, leaves, pages from their textbooks, dirty rags, cow dung during that time of the month. And that is not dignity for me. You know, we need to restore the dignity, and we need to get sponsors on board, regardless of what menstrual product it is.
They do. Yeah, true that. True that. And I think it has to be accessible. I think the whole thing is accessibility to any kind of product that they're using. There's a company that started doing cloth pads, and I think it's very commendable. I think I'm more biased to the eco ones because they're reusable, and also because they don't have many side effects. I think that's why I'm more biased to the eco one. So anything that is eco, cloth pad, menstrual pad, your sponges, sea sponges, I'll be more concerned with that. But like you say, anything that really welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you, Basi. Botswana, we're going to get back to you just now, but just talking about the cloth pads, the reusable sanitary pads, we have Griselda in Lovo from South Africa, who is the owner of Safe Pads. She's a social entrepreneur, humanitarian, and a professional life coach. Hello, Griselda. How are you doing?
Hi, hello, Dr. Shamila, and greetings to everyone.
Griselda, before we go ahead, please tell the audience who exactly you are. Just share a little bit about Griselda. Griselda, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, I lost connection. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Please, can you tell the audience who is Griselda?
Yeah, Griselda, you said it. Griselda, I'm from South Africa. I'm married with 3 girls, and I've been doing charity work actually for the past 15 years. So, and currently just qualified my life coaching with the purpose of focusing on young girls and women when it comes to coaching overall, including the issue of the one that we're discussing today.
Awesome. So what was the reason behind Safe Pads?
The reason behind Safe Pads, as I said, I've been doing charity work for the past 15 years. I've been doing the drive pads where we were visiting schools around our area. I'm from Mpumalanga and Bushbuckridge. So we used to visit the schools and donate these disposable pads. And I would always wonder every time we leave, because it was not monthly. And remember, when we talk about menstruation, it's monthly and it's not a choice. So I came with the idea. I'm a fashion designer. Then somehow I sat and researched about finding the sustainable idea. Then I came up with the idea of manufacturing the washable and reusable sanitary pads. And I will say I feel so excited by introducing the product, because we're talking about the kids or the girls who cannot afford even that disposable one. So if we manage to reach the young girl and we give the reusable sanitary pads, you know, it's a long-term solution and it's environmental friendly.
Do you think there are lots of challenges that the girls in Bushbuck Ridge face in terms of menstrual hygiene management and just having access to menstrual products?
Absolutely, Dr. Shamila. I would like to say, you know, what I've learned through my entire journey working with young girls, I've got a program where we tackle the teen pregnancy prevention and supporting the teen mothers. And there are a lot of challenges, I would like to say that, because, you know, when you, personally, I'm from the same background. I grew up when I started my menstruation. I didn't even know we have to get the pads. You will make plan using the tissue if you have. If you don't have a tissue, you'll have to make a plan to get a cloth or whatever, or I don't know, but you had to make a way. So working with these girls in my area, I've seen lots of challenges because remember, when you are in menstruation, the stat says many girls are missing schools during menstruation cycle. So that's one of the challenges, because when you miss school, it means you're getting behind with your education. And when you get behind with education, coming back to school, you'll face that stigma sometimes. So that's why we have a program where we teach these issues of menstruation and puberty to the young girls.
Do you also find there's a lot of cultural taboos and poverty in your area?
Oh yeah, I think I can't remember the first speaker, if it was somebody mentioned. I would say it's the culture. It's a taboo. You don't talk about it. Somehow, as I said, you need to find a way to get a solution at your own. And when you are on menstruation, you are regarded as unclean. You are regarded dirty. So it's one of the taboo that is affecting our young girls. And I think it's a way that we are busy addressing. I'm glad for this platform because I can see we have many women who are playing the role to fight this taboo. Because when we talk about the taboo, where it affects our young girls, when they grow up like that, it will affect their life, their self-esteem. So it's quite very bad when we don't support them. So hence, I'm standing in a gap and educating our young girls and fighting this taboo, which is some of cultural, in a cultural way, where other parents, they will never discuss anything with their girls. The other girls, they will be at school, they won't even know what's going on. They will just come home and then they find out maybe the menstruation have started, but then they will have no one to talk to. So yeah, it's one of the taboo that our kids are facing.
Absolutely. And, you know, we also know that a lot of the girls in the rural communities are brought up by their grandmothers and their aunts. And there's seldom the chance of having that conversation. And we actually depend on the educators, which is also not happening. So we are really glad that we have people like yourself that can go out into the communities and just talk about menstruation to these girls and just provide that support.
Thank you, Dr. Shamila.
Thank you so much for your input. So we move on to Letabo Kupa from South Africa, who is an International Youth Society South Africa ambassador, youth activist, and he's just started a very interesting project. We're going to hear about it. Hello, Letabo. How are you doing?
I'm very good. And you, Dr. Shamila?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on board. The only rose amongst the thorns today. And yeah, we're so happy to have you here.
It's a pleasure, ma'am. It's really an honor to be part of this panel.
Letabo, please tell our audience who exactly you are and what you're doing.
I go by the name of Letabo Kupa, a student at the University of Pretoria studying education and psychology. I'm currently also doing research in preventative medicine, integrative medicine, in human health management. I'm a life coach and currently still the Mr. Protea South Africa 2020. I am the former junior station commander of the Vulnerable Police, former chairperson of the Girls and Boys Educational Movement. I'm a health advocate, specifically in HIV and AIDS, where I was volunteering as a tester and also a counselor. And right now I'm currently running a project in keeping a girl child in school, donating to them menstrual cups. And yeah, and the list goes on and on. That's who I am.
Wonderful. Is that all that you do?
No, ma'am. There's quite a lot of things
I'm teasing. So as a male, Letabo, what does menstrual hygiene mean to you?
Ma'am, you know, menstruation, we live with it from our sisters, our mothers, our friends. So we as males can't literally close our eyes as if this doesn't exist. Is people classified as a taboo, you're not allowed to talk about it. But I believe that you as a man, if you don't talk about it, you're actually part of the problem. So I believe there's a lot that we can do as men, actually, in terms of raising our voices for our women. Because if we don't do anything, then how are we expecting change? There are a lot of kids out there who can't go to school. I recently got a letter yesterday again of a girl who literally doesn't go to school because she's having a severe menstrual problems. So right now I'm organizing a trip to go to the Eastern Cape to actually deliver the menstrual cup. It's really a problem, and then we really can't close our eyes to such problems as men. We are men, we need to stand up for our women. So we need to close that gap and bridge a gap. Again, it brings up another point in terms of equality. We as men don't experience what women do. Women have babies, which literally they have to sacrifice staying away from work, taking care of babies. Now again is the menstrual situation. I believe we as men should close that gap. And that's why I'm taking the first initiative with whatever little bit that I have to donate to the girls, go to school, you do what you have to do. You are equal for me.
Keep up the awesome work that you are doing. And do you maybe want to share with the audience how many people's lives you've changed already in terms of your project?
So far, we got 16 letters, and then we managed to distribute 3. We have 3 more, and then we have another order coming in. So we're going to still look again into those letters and then see who really, really needs the menstrual cup. And then we're going to deliver the menstrual cup to them. And then we're going to continue with the project until, I don't think I'm going to stop. I'm just can't wait to start working so that I can pile more orders. So I'm just right now trying to approach sponsors so that they can sponsor the project going further.
Fabulous. Keep up the awesome work. And I just want to say thanks to Naomi Goodley-Jose, who's come on board when you put out your post, and she said she wants to contribute to and support 2 girls per month. And then I have another surprise for you today, Letabo.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got Dana Hasselum, who is in the UK. She's in London, and she's adding to that sponsorship of 2 girls per month for the next 5 months.
Wow, Bem, I'm so delighted. I was actually worried. I didn't know what to say to the other girls because, when a girl sends a letter, they send a letter hoping that they're going to get a menstrual cup. And I couldn't bring down myself to writing those rejection letters. So right now, thank you so much, ma'am. I truly appreciate the effort. And then to think that whatever contribution that we're doing to that young girl, this young girl might actually become the president of South Africa, might actually become a world changer. Thank you so much, ma'am.
It's a pleasure, but let's talk about it because I also want to sponsor some towards your project. So we'll talk about it offline. Thank you so much, Letabo.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I truly appreciate the platform to talk about this. If we don't talk about it, we're actually part of the problem. Let's raise our voices and let's make a change.
Absolutely. And thank you for being that voice. We need to get more men on board to actually talk about it and break those taboos around menstruation. We move across to Zambia, where we have Longa Kunda, a girl child activist. Hello, Longa. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us today on this special day.
Thank you. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Longa, please share with the audience a little bit about yourself.
My name is Longa Kunda, a working mother, a girl child activist. I'm passionate about the girl child. The teenage girl has so many burning questions and they end up getting information from the wrong sources. So I try to identify with them and just be that ear and probably offer some advice where I can. I counsel a lot of youths, and then I sit on the board for Friends of the Street Children. We have a program where we take children off the street. We either reintegrate them into families or we put them in our homes. We have 2 homes, one for the boys and one for the girls.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Longa, what are the challenges faced by young girls in Zambia?
I think the greatest challenge is that, as a teenager, there's so much that they're going through. There are a lot of changes physiologically and emotionally. And I feel they don't get the support that they would love to get. And they end up making the wrong choices. So I think we need to reach out to the young girls and just be there to support them and just guide them along the way, because most of them end up making mistakes because either they are misinformed or uninformed. So I love being around the youths, the young girls, just to hear some of the challenges that they face. And when you look at like where I come from in Zambia, there are certain things we are conservative. We are so conservative, and there are certain things you just can't talk about, and it's a big challenge for the young girls. So I would love to be there, just to be there to support them emotionally, and just be there for them.
Do you find it easy to talk about menstruation?
Personally, I don't have any challenges talking about menstruation, but when you go into the rural setup, you find that it's considered a taboo. You can't just talk about it. And then you find most of the girls would have not heard about menstrual cycles or anything until it hits them. So I don't have a problem, but in the rural areas, we have a very big challenge because we are very conservative and it's a taboo. And the girl will only hear about it the day it happens, and I feel that they don't have enough preparation. And when you look at some of them, we mature at different ages. I think I started my Ps when I was about 12 years. My sister was only 10 years and, she was still a baby. My mother actually cried when my sister had her first periods because she was so young. So we need to start preparing them at a very tender age so that when it comes, they'll know what to do. They don't feel stigmatized. They don't feel out of place. I remember my sister used to hide. When she was having her periods, she would be hiding. She started her periods and then we didn't know, for months, we thought she wasn't having her periods, but then she would have them and then she would be hiding. Yeah, so I think we need to do more in terms of preparing the children.
I so agree with you. And in South Africa as well, we have similar problems and issues because girls don't know anything about menstruation. When they do come on for the first time, they find that, they go into depression and they hide. They feel that they either got hurt, they got an infection or some disease because they don't know about menstruation. So we need to create that topic and or the education around it and share that with these girls and support them through this, because it's life-changing.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Thank you, Longa from Zambia. We move on to Nishani Ford from South Africa, founder of Seeds of Hope, global activist for GBV in the workplace. And Nishani is doing incredible work in terms of the girl child as well. Hello, Nishani, how are you?
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having us here and for creating this platform. I was just looking at the global spread and only you could have done this, Dr. Shamila.
Oh, thank you, Nishani. Thank you so much for coming on board and chatting to us, because I know this is also very close to your heart, changing the lives of the girl child. Please tell the audience a little bit about yourself. I know you've had quite an incredible journey as well.
Yeah. So I'm Nishani Ford. I am firstly the mother of a single mother of two adult boys who are fully educated in menstrual health. I raised them with my sanitary wear openly displayed in the bathroom, and so they have no shame about shopping for me either nowadays. So very proud of that. I'm also a published author, an international life coach, accredited life coach. I work in the global space in over 90 different countries and bring sort of over 30 years of empowerment, and have been sought after for many of my projects in the space of empowerment. My passion is women's development and empowerment, and the reason for that is my lived experiences. I am the survivor of 13 years of abuse, 10 years of active addiction from a child's point of view. So I'm a parent of a child, and have survived and lived with mental illness as well. So yeah, in a nutshell, this for me is very personal because it is about the dignity and the empowerment of women, to know your own body, to be proud of who you are as an individual.
Awesome. So this topic is very important to you, Nishani, but how are Seeds of Hope actively addressing this?
Yeah, so this topic is very important to me because just a small point before we move on, because many girls in South Africa are living below the poverty line. And as you know, I'm in Johannesburg, South Africa, which is the rape capital of the world. And when a girl is staying at home, secluded and in hiding, she's also very vulnerable. When a girl is staying at home and she doesn't have the money to buy sanitary wear, whatever that sanitary wear is, that for me is a violent choice. When a girl or a woman has to make a choice between buying a loaf of bread and buying sanitary wear, that in 2021 is a violent choice. She shouldn't have to make that choice. And so at Seeds of Hope, what we endeavor to do is to break that cycle, to break the taboo. Yes, it is to break the taboo, working mainly in the Eastern Cape, Letabo, in Mount Aleph and the Eastern Cape, to bring sanitary wear to girls that is sustainable, that they are able to use without having running water sometimes, without having to go to shops. So we want to put Princess D Menstrual Cup is the project that I'm working with and liaising with Dr. Shamila, and we endeavor to put that in every girl's hand. So that's just what Seeds of Hope does, but not just that. We educate the girls, we help them, because feminine health also includes not falling pregnant, because as soon as a girl can menstruate, she can fall pregnant. She can become susceptible to trafficking, to drug abuse. And so we bring in a very holistic, empowered view, and use a coaching model that enables the community to empower themselves, and it enables parents to start having these critical conversations with children.
Your work is incredible, and I love your initiatives. Thank you so much for changing the lives of many girls in South Africa. What is your message of hope for South Africans on Menstrual Hygiene Day?
On Menstrual Hygiene Day, I just want to say that girls rock, chicks rock. And I just want to say that having a period is a natural part of being a woman. And it's something to be proud of, not to hide your pad in here or under the blankets, but to be proud of who you are and be proud of being a woman, be proud of being a creator of life and an incubator of life, because that's who we are as women. And I just believe that the self-esteem, the confidence of a woman enables her to be everything that she's meant to be. So for me, menstrual health is foundational. It's absolutely important to building the self-esteem and confidence of every girl, child, and every woman.
Lovely. Thank you, Nishani, for chatting to us today. Words of inspiration. And I'm sure a lot of women are feeling really chuffed today because it's a special day for all of us. Moving ahead, we go on to Tristan Lovo from South Africa, who's an educator, activist, and she happens to be in my doctoral class of 2021. Hello, Trish. How are you?
I'm good, Shamila. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You know, despite all our challenges that we are facing this year, we still have the time to talk about menstrual hygiene management.
The most important aspect of every woman's life, I believe, Dr. Shamila.
Absolutely. Trish, please tell the audience a little bit about you.
I am Trish, a mother of 3 boys. I have a full-time job and I study as well, as Shamila has mentioned. I am more of an education activist. I believe that everyone has to have a chance at a decent education.
You know, and I must add, and I must share this with everybody, that Trish actually was expecting her third baby when we just finished the proposal stage of our doctoral studies.
Yeah, that is correct, Shamila.
Well done. You know, the challenges of motherhood. So, Trish, what do you think the role parents play in the menstruation of their children?
The first language that a child catches is that of the home. Whatever is happening in the home is what the child learns. If in the homes that we come from, if as parents, we are not communicating what menstruation is, what menstrual hygiene is, we are sitting with a very big challenge, because the first home, the first educator is the parents and is the home. So whatever you see, if I'm to give an example, I'll give that of abuse. If a child grows up in an abusive home, they end up thinking it is normal to beat up your wife or beat up your husband or use discriminatory language or inflammatory language. It is the same with love. If children observe love in the home, in the family, or how to communicate with others, that is the template that they take out and use in the world. If at home, a period is something that is taboo, it's something that cannot be discussed, it's something that is disgusting, that is embarrassing, that is the template that the child goes out into the world and uses. So it narrows the lenses that the child uses when they view the world. The esteem of the child is also reflected in the way that they have been exposed to this very crucial and rite of passage in life. So it is very important for parents to communicate what is happening in the body of the child. And as you will notice these days, the age keeps getting younger and younger, where a child who is 8 years old can have a period. If you are in a home where parents are not able to have these conversations and prepare children at a tender age of what is about to happen, whether it is father or it is mother or it is brother, it becomes quite a challenge, Dr. Shamila.
I love that. Yes, I've had that experience with so many young girls that are starting now at the age of 8. I mean, we're talking about babies that are now menstruating. It's really, really sad.
Yes, and I'd like to add, I came across a beautiful proverb a couple of weeks ago that I am now using and applying in my space. It says, if you want to plan for a year, plant rice. If you want to plan for 10 years, plant trees. If you want to plan for a lifetime, educate people. So it's these initiatives that help people understand education is the only true weapon that we have to change the world and to change society.
For sure. And there's another topic that is so close to our hearts. I know you share this as well because you have a friend that has a special needs child. So do you maybe want to take us to a bit of that, maybe a few challenges that's experienced by, differently abled children or adolescents during menstrual hygiene or menstruation?
Yes. So you see, there isn't enough education out there about what happens to a child with disability or a child with special needs. As a community, we are quiet about that front. My friend phoned me one day and she was frantical, and she's saying, my child has just gotten her period and she's disabled. And I'm like, okay, so what is the challenge there? She says, she is vulnerable. She cannot talk. She is in that space where anyone can come in and take advantage of her. And she went on to further say, now with my child and the most girls that are disabled, they are very loving, they are very caring. And because of their disposition, they are taken advantage of. So that is on the one part. They are not able to take care of themselves, and they do not understand what is happening in their bodies. And further to that, the parents themselves are also left in a situation where really they do not know what to do or where to go for help, because there isn't enough that is written about this particular topic. You are supposed to figure it out on your own. As we are talking about a normal day-to-day type of parent dealing now with menstruation. But now you are dealing with a double whammy where you have a child that is disabled. You are still reeling from how to deal with life on that front. And then you get this whammy exposed to you. And most programs are not inclusive of special needs children. There isn't enough, maybe even if you're looking at video clips, they are going to show video clips of able-bodied children going through their periods and everything, but no one shows the other side. What is happening to our disabled children? What is happening psychological, even to the caregivers and their parents? We do not include them enough as a society. So I would like, as we have these conversations, that we also include other people as well that are marginalized even further than what we see.
That is such an interesting topic, and that is so close to my heart. And hopefully my research is going to reveal quite a lot that's going to help people out there on the improvement of menstrual hygiene management on adolescents with cognitive or intellectual disabilities. So I'm hoping that that's going to help spread the word as well. But thank you so much for that, Trish. Really insightful. The goal of menstrual hygiene management, everyone, is to ensure that women and girls can manage their periods in a way that is not only healthy, but enables their full participation in school, work, and other activities. We're going to close off today with the last words from my guests. We've had such an incredible 1 hour chatting about menstrual hygiene management, our guests sharing their insights and what happens in their countries and around them in terms of menstrual hygiene management. And we go back to Dr. Bakshi, who's going to share her last words.
So it was lovely listening to all of you and understanding the experience of people from different countries. It was amazing. So I think the takeaway message would be that we all need to do our bit in the society, and we need to inspire others to do their bit in the society. So if all of us continue sharing the responsibility of empowering women, of educating women right from the beginning, so that when they start their first period, they have a good memory for the rest of their life and take it in as normal way as possible.
Thank you, Dr. Bakshi. Moving on to Aliya Chabu.
Hi.
Hi, Aliya. Your last words, please.
Well, my last words is, if we all stand together and support each other through this and, continue to create awareness all around us, I think it would be of great assistance to the ladies because, like we mentioned previously, it's something that a lot of people hide. Ladies hide from. They are sometimes ashamed of it, and we need to break that. So I still stand and I say that to create awareness and to just continue helping everyone around us.
Thank you so much for that. And then we move ahead to Letabo.
My last words are, let's stop dreaming and let's start acting. Let's start acting on our dreams. I think we've all been dreaming great dreams of being great people. So I think now it's time to start putting everything into action. Thank you, ma'am. There's a lot that needs to be done.
Love it. Thank you so much. Longa in Zambia.
We need to be the change that we want to see. We need to be the change that we want to see.
Thank you, Longa.
I think it should start from us. Menstrual cup was introduced. People are like, hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go on.
Yeah, I was saying, the concept of menstrual cups is just like unheard of in Zambia. So I think we need to do more and just, educate people that it's actually the better choice. Thank you.
Thank you, Longa. And we move ahead to Criselda.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shamila. I would like to say it was a great honor to be part of this panel. As the theme of Menstrual Hygiene 2021 says, action and investment in health, in menstrual hygiene and health, I would like to say there's no dignity without basic necessities such as a sanitary pads. So everyone here or whoever will be watching, even if you can help one child a month, that will help a lot and that will restore the dignity of our young girls. Thank you.
I so agree with you. Thank you so much. Nishani, your last words, please.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here. My last closing thought is that menstrual health and feminine hygiene is not a women's issue. It is a human issue. It is something that we all need to own, irrespective of our gender, and that we need to take away the choice between buying a loaf of bread and buying a pack of sanitary towels, because that is a violent choice. So it is a human issue. This is not a woman's issue.
I so agree with you. Thank you, Nishani. And moving ahead, Basitsana of Botswana.
My last words would be to us ladies. I'd like to say we should know our bodies and we should nurture. A period is a special time in our month, and it happens for 40 years or so of our lives, and we should really embrace it and try to explore our bodies. And what I do normally, the first 2 days of my period, I'd like to take some time off and just pamper myself. I think if we should make having a period normal as part of, don't be agitated when it's that time of the month. It's that time of the month. We should just say it's a normal time. My body is telling me something, and then listen. Then we'll inspire the upcoming generation to know that it's not something that you should be ashamed of. So let's take care of ourselves. Let's pamper ourselves, and let's make it an everyday thing. Nothing changes. And also let's give a helping hand to those who need, so that nobody is left behind.
I love that. Nobody is left behind. Yes. Thank you so much for that. And we move ahead to Trish. Your last words.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to have been part of this platform. Letabo, I am so inspired. Hey, I am a mother of 3 sons. So this has inspired me so much that we should be having these conversations with our boys, with our husbands, with our boyfriends, with whoever else is out there to listen, because I believe that as we are great enough, we are able enough to shine the torch on this issue. The more light we shed, the more people become educated and the more people become better. My last word is that let us be kinder and gentle to the things that have hindered us in the past from moving forward. By sharing a kind word, when you observe that a woman is going through this particular moment in her life, or a child, or whoever it is, let us spare a moment and a thought, because some of the things that we go through are because of a lack of education. Some people believe that you cannot take a pain stop when you're menstruating. It goes against certain beliefs. So let us take time to educate, even a woman as old as myself, to break those myths and to break the cycles, so that we are able and are a better people. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Trish, for that. Words of inspiration and from all our wonderful guests. Menstrual hygiene is a vital part of the health and dignity of women and girls. Let's continue to be the voice for the importance of good menstrual hygiene practices. Thank you to my wonderful guests on the show tonight. Thank you to the audience for tuning in. Please share this chat. If you would like to be on the chat, please email redcornershow@gmail.com. Until then, take care and be safe. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel Red Corner Show. Bye, everyone.